What's going on, guys? Sam here, and the OnePlus 6 has been out for about 9 months now, and it's now considered a last iteration flagship phone from OnePlus, with OnePlus 6T taking over as its latest flagship. Here is a long-term review of the OnePlus 6, and I've been using it ever since it was launched, and let's see how it works in 2019, as it's still a really capable phone. Now, before we jump into the review, here is a brief cover of the OnePlus 6 hardware. We see a 6.28-inch AMOLED panel, 2280 by 1080p, and on top of the screen you have a front-facing camera of f2.0 aperture, 16 megapixel camera on the front. And on the back of the phone you do have a dual camera setup, with the first camera being 16 megapixel f1.7 shooter and the secondary camera of a 20 megapixel f1.7 shooter. Now the secondary camera is just for depth information, for better bokeh photos. We'll get to that in a bit. And of course, Snapdragon 845 with Adreno 630, 6 to 8 gigabytes of RAM with 64 to 256 gigs of onboard storage. Now let's get started. Yes, the screen has a notch, but it isn't half as bad as people make it seem to be. I've actually gotten really used to having a notch on my phone, and the reason is because it's a really small notch. Personally, it doesn't bother me at all, and I actually have a bigger screen real estate to work with. And I have to admit, I used to hate having notches on phones, and because of the whole notch deal in 2018, you see it on the iPhone 10 and of course the Pixel 3, it was huge. Personally, OnePlus did a good job minimizing the notch, and to be honest, I don't really see it after a while using it. Now let's talk about the display. It's been really good, very sharp. After all, it is an AMOLED panel, so blacks are deep blacks and colors are very sharp. And it is definitely visible under direct sunlight, so outdoor visibility is no problem at all. The only problem I noticed was after the latest Android Pie update, the brightness control seems to be a little bit inconsistent. I used to get really bright screen at about 40%, and with the new Pie update I have to pump 60 to 70% to get about the same amount of brightness as before. I'm hoping they fix this in the new update or the next update, but otherwise no complaints. Watching videos on this phone is great. It's not going to have the best sounding speakers, as it's only a single firing speaker at the bottom of the phone, but it does the job, and it's not that bad. Right, let's talk about the performance. I've been using this phone ever since it's available for purchase, and I have to say, until today, the phone has been absolutely amazing. I have no complaints about it whatsoever in terms of performance. Everything about this phone is just a buttery smooth experience, and that's coming from a Pixel 2 user. I thought I would miss the stock Android experience, but Oxygen OS has made some minimal and yet great changes while still keeping the phone feeling as stock Android as they can. And that's what I like about OnePlus. No bloatwares, no lags. Gaming on this thing is absolutely awesome. The experience and all that. I've been playing heavy games like PUBG a lot on the OnePlus 6, and it's been totally handling it like a champ. Even with Snapdragon 855 out this year, the Snapdragon 845 is still a very capable chipset. It's still handling everything like a champ, from gaming to software experience. Everything about it is still great. I'm still very comfortable with using a Snapdragon 845 phone in the year of 2019. Now let's dive into the camera on this phone. The camera on the OnePlus 6 has really impressed me. On the front side of the camera, you can take some amazing selfie shots with really great details in almost every shot taken. My only complaint about this camera is that the lens isn't wide enough. I found myself stretching my arm most of the time when I take group selfie shots with my friends when we're outside. That to me is just a little bit annoying. I hope they fix that with the OnePlus 7 with wider lens. Other than that, no complaints whatsoever. On the rear side of the camera, it's just great. It's not the best, but considering the price of this phone, it does hold its own with some of the top tier flagship phones. Here's some sample shots that I took while using this phone for the last 9 months, and you can see for yourself. Now, a lot of people are worried about the battery life on the OnePlus 6 and wonders if it handles everything good enough, on the day-to-day basis, to gaming, to taking photos and videos. And I can tell you from firsthand, after using it about for 9 months, it does really good. Not the best, but good enough. The OnePlus 6 is rocking a 3300 mAh battery. The battery has been awesome, especially with the new Android Pie update that came out about 4 months ago, and it's been awesome. I've been getting about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time and on heavy usage. And heavy usage, keep in mind that I'm playing games, scrolling through Instagrams and all that, and I get about 5.5 hours of screen on time, and that's topped with using data on the majority of the day. Now, to sum it up, the OnePlus 6 is still a very capable phone in the year of 2019, even with the recent releases of the Galaxy S10 and the Xiaomi Mi 9, both with the new Snapdragon 855 chipset. The Snapdragon 845, like I said before, is still very capable, and this phone is still rocking it in the year of 2019, and I feel no need to change a new phone, at least for me. I don't feel like upgrading a new phone this year. As for why I think that the 6 is better than the 6T, the reason is simple. 1. The removable headphone jack. 2. The fingerprint scanner is not as fast on the 6T than it is on the 6. Finally, number 3. They're pretty much the same phone. You have similar specs, the same camera. I would definitely recommend the 6 for those who have never experienced the OnePlus experience and is looking to buy a OnePlus device, because the 6 does offer more at a cheaper price. That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys haven't already, like this video, subscribe, comment. I will see you guys next time. Peace.